Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back. So today we got some pretty good news. So as of today, you guys watched the video of me driving around and trying to get this thing up to around 14, 15 pounds of boost. And wasn't able to do it. Tried two different boost controllers and wasn't working. So tried something a little bit different with the other boost controller with the same one I was using and got it up to 15 pounds. So let's see what I did. So I basically just left kind of what I had on there, this check valve that I put on the T yesterday, and I ran that line over to the top of the wastegate. So I'm using the other hookup just like I was before. So controller goes to the bottom of the wastegate, and even with this thing all the way closed with the stiff spring, it was right at 10 pounds, like no matter what I did. So hook this thing up to the top so I have a little bit of pressure pushing down on the diaphragm, and I'm regulating the amount of pressure that's coming to the bottom of the diaphragm. So I have this boost controller turned about halfway in, and all the way out it was right at 10 pounds again. So I started to turn it in, got it to 12, and then eventually got it to 15. And what I did was I just put a little piece of tape over the top of this thing so it doesn't spin, and it actually kind of works pretty decent. So played around with it a little bit. I did a quick little pull and it was like right at 14 pounds. Left it like that, and then I did a little bit longer pull and it started to creep a little bit, and it went from like 190 kPa up to like 203. It started to creep, and it continued to come up. So I backed the thing off about two and a half turns, and eventually got it to a point where it's leveling off now. And it's leveling off like right at 199 kPa, which is like just above 14 pounds, like 14 and a half pounds. So it's working pretty good, and I'm happy with it. So one thing that happened on the last pull on the way home, when I lifted it ended up blowing the coupler off of the turbo. So I'm going to put that thing back on there. I'm probably going to put a couple extra clamps on there. It's just probably the back pressure because I don't have a blow-off valve on there, so when I lift it's like really high pressure for a second and just popped off. Alright guys, so I'm going to try to show you this here. So you can see this purple line is actually the manifold pressure. So this is coming up to right around 200 kPa in this section, and you can see the screen line is 100% throttle position up here. Red line is my RPM, so this is kind of flattening out here, but you can see the boost pressure is still climbing. So even though I did get it up to around 14-15 psi, this thing was still kind of creeping a little bit and climbing. So I did back it off about two and a half turns, and this was the pull that I did after that. So you can see it comes up and it flattens off, and this is, if we look at the actual scan, this is right at 197. This one is, I think it actually gets up to 200 kPa at some point on here, but yeah, right there. So 200 kPa, so this is like right in between 14 and 15 pounds, and air-fuel ratio is a little bit rich, but I'm probably going to leave it how it is until I go to the track. And yeah, so that's where we ended up today. Back this thing off a couple turns. So this is with the boost line on the top and bottom of the wastegate, with the boost controller turned like halfway in. So this works out pretty good. I like it. Alright, so that's about it for this one, guys. So it's going to be 14 pounds. Right now it's about 14 pounds, 10 degrees of timing, and it's like a 10, 5 to 11 air fuel. So I'm going to leave it exactly how it is. I'm not going to change the tune at all for a couple more days until the next track day. So it's Wednesday today. It's Wednesday today. I'm going to leave the tune how it is. I'm just going to work on getting the grill and stuff off so I can get this AC condenser out. So I think I can do it by just pulling the front off. There's two bolts holding some brackets on down there, and I'm going to try to pull the condenser out through the bottom so I don't have to open up the cooling system at all. And hopefully that should really help free this up, because this is not flowing a lot of air. Also, for cooling purposes, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this little foam crap off here, whatever this stuff is. I'm going to pull this off because I think this is just acting like a big blanket, and I would like it to actually soak into the hood and dissipate some of the heat like a heat sink. So I think I'm going to take that off. Hopefully that'll help keep the engine bay a lot cooler, because everything is like super hot in here. Debating on getting a turbo blanket just to test that out, because everything is really hot. But other than that, over the next couple days, I'm going to work on that getting the condenser out, and I'm going to work on the drive shaft safety loops. The safety loops are a little bit not wide enough, so I'm just going to split them down here, and then I'm going to weld some flat stock back in across so I can open this up a little bit wider, give me a little bit more room inside there, and then I'll be able to weld these or bolt these into the frame on the outside. So I'm going to work on that thing. That's kind of my priority. That and the heating or cooling, whatever you want to call it. I think I'm going to work on the drive shaft safety loop first, because I know this thing is capable of driving around and I'll be able to make some passes. It just takes a little longer to cool it down. So that's the priority, just in case the track is sticky and something bad happens and the thing breaks. You never know. So that's what'll be coming the next couple days, and hopefully we'll be able to do something good at the track. Hopefully I can get into the 11s, maybe. 10.5 is the goal, but that's like my end of summer, end of season goal. So we'll see what we need to do to get there. Hopefully maybe we can get into like low 12s, 11s in a couple days.